Let's talk student loan debt now. It's top of mind for many after a town hall where President Biden said that he would not support canceling $50,000 of student loan debt. We have Aarthi Swaminathan here to discuss the latest in student loans and how some borrowers are actually being left out of that student loan repayment pause. So again, I thought everyone had that federal loan, or at least who had a federal loan, was getting this pause now until October 1st. But that isn't the case. So tell us why.
Yeah, so this goes into the complicated history that went on in the back end, right? So before 2010, people didn't take out federal loans with the government. They actually took out something called a federal family education loan. This is a little bit different. It looks a lot like a private loan, but I'll explain to you what happened. So in 2008, when these liquidity crisis happened with the Great Recession, the government went in and bailed billions of dollars in these federal family education loan programs and brought it into the federal loan system, right? So they became federal loan borrowers. But millions of people were left behind in that system. It didn't matter for like 10 years until 2010 when this payment pause happened. And then 6 million people suddenly realized that they didn't qualify. And this was not something that they decided. This was something that Congress did and kind of unintentionally hurt them. And also debt collection. Debt collection hasn't paused on their student loans if they had defaulted on it. So this is something advocacy groups are really upset about. And they wrote a letter to the education department saying, please change this. But I think they're just looking at it now and deciding what to do.
I have a question here about what kinds of folks really have most of these loans, because private loans tended to have much higher interest rates. Folks who couldn't get lines of credit for student loans were really forced into this private loan, which is not really a great thing now when we have coronavirus and the pandemic and they're struggling just to make ends meet. And then they have these really high bills with these higher interest rates. So tell me about how big the problem is and who owns some of these loans.
Yeah, 6 million people own these loans. And I spoke to one lady who is African-American, and she's 50 years old. She's retired, and she has a FFEL loan that she has been holding since 1989. So a lot of FFEL loan borrowers are a little bit older, and they also, that was the predominant loan system back then. So everyone had taken these loans out. But if you were not smart enough to consolidate it or lucky enough to be part of that federal bailout, basically screwed. So kind of interesting, very black boxy, but hopefully they fix it.
All right. Yahoo Finance's Aarthi Swaminathan. Thanks so much for joining us today.